everybody.
Hi everyone.
Yes, we're back again.
We're back again.
We are right in your face.
The Philos.
The Philos.
The
All
We're
right.
excited to be here again. Yeah. I hope you watched our last episode. If you didn't, go back and watch our last episode. We talked about the stages of relationship. We talked about what leads to marriage, and we spoke about friendship. And today we're going to be talking about the next stage, which is courtship. Make sure you are subscribed to our channel. If you're not subscribed to our channel, go right down and subscribe
and share this video and like it. Make sure you give it a thumbs up.
About it. Tell your friends about it. Please leave your comments, leave your feedbacks, leave your prayer points. We look forward to hearing from you. We look forward to knowing your opinion and how this video has blessed you. Please, very important. Our mail is DPHILOS@gmail.com. Please make sure you send us mails. Let's know your prayers. Let's know your challenges, ways we can pray with you and agree with you for a miracle in your relationships. Okay? Quickly, I want to say this. When we laid some foundation in our previous episode, please make sure you revert back to that if you haven't. We said that these stages are not rigid. They're not rigid.
Okay? We don't have a particular system. These stages are actually derived. Okay? So we as the Philos looked at every detail, the ingredients that comes in place, the levels of relationship and the kind of boundaries that needs to be set, and then we came up with these stages. So don't go and see there are 3 levels in relationships. No, okay?
For the sake of definition, for the sake of clarity, that's why we have to break down these stages and
to
then
3 stages.
And then explain them so that you know what you're doing at every stage. You know your expectations from the other person, and also what the person expects from you.
This is very important because you must be able to define where you are
at every particular point in time. And we also mentioned the fact that as much as these stages are not rigid, you also should know that it happens differently for different people. Some stages are compressed for some people. Do you understand? Like a person may take 6 months being friends and he makes a commitment and then you guys are cutting already. And then you may just meet a person and after a month, after building friendship for a month, the person decides to make a commitment and then boom, you guys are at the stage of
courtship
already.
Yes, that is very important.
We need to take note of it.
People have their stages at different times compressed, but it doesn't mean that you will not pass through these levels.
You will have to pass through them.
Like I always say that the best spouse to marry is your friend. That means you must have built friendship properly.
Babe, sorry, let me just say this. Whether you build friendship with a person and then you get married or you get married to your friend, the bottom line is that there is friendship. It's either you marry your friend or you build friendship with the person that you are going to get married to. In the process that leads to marriage, friendship is inevitable. You can't skip it.
Absolutely.
Because that is what you do in marriage. I mean, like, what else do you do in marriage?
It's about 2 friends.
Two friends living together, living their lives together,
enjoying themselves together,
really
reaching out for their goals together, doing their assignments
marriage
together,
is about friendship.
making sure they fulfill their purpose together. You know,
friendship is what keeps marriage going. So you can't do without friendship. So that leads us to our topic for today. So in the process of being friends with a person, you get to the point of intentional commitment. Please. Marriage has to do with intentionality. Courtship in itself has to do with intentionality. You don't wake up and slide into it. There has to be a point where the person is like, oh, we have been friends and I would want us to take this to the next level. And then when such a person, the guy, makes these commitments to you, then you give consent. That leads to courtship. There was a point that you knew that he actually made this commitment to me as a woman.
And you must be sure of it.
And you must must be sure of
You
it.
must be
it's
sure.
It's not like you're like you just slide
You
into
remember
an assumption relationship.
our other episode?
Yeah.
We talked about situationship.
You don't want to find yourself in situationship.
Don't build a relationship based on the situation.
Yeah, it is lack of intentionality in commitment that actually leads to situationship.
Yes.
Because if the person is actually intentional about you, or the person was intentional about your relationship, then there will be a point where the person made a commitment and then you gave consent. You were certain. Courtship has to do with intentional commitment. So today we are talking about intentional commitment.
Yes. So for this stage, which is called courtship, it is intentional commitment that kicks it off, that activates it. So that's the boundary. Okay, because we spoke about defining each stage. Okay,
goal-driven people are intentional people.
You can't just be playing around.
It's not haphazard. Really, you have to be intentional about it.
You have to be intentional, and it is when that commitment has been done intentionally. He can choose to take you out in any way. He made that.
When there is an intentional commitment, that is when expectations can now be built. Can now be built. You can't have expectations from somebody that has not made any intentional commitment to you. No, you can't. You will only be hurting yourself. Please don't do that. Don't do that. So you don't want to be in that situation. That's why today we're talking about intentional commitment, courtship.
A lot of things come in this stage.
Basically,
a lot.
One of the major things you do in this stage is that this is the stage where you get to know each other
yourself deeper. Deeper. This is very, very important.
And deeper, we're going to talk about what it means to know yourself deeper. We're not talking about intimacy, physical intimacy.
We're not talking about sex.
We're not talking about sex.
Okay.
That's not what we're talking about.
That's not the knowing deeper, please.
That's not the knowing deeper.
Okay.
That's not the knowing
For
deeper.
this stage of relationship, courtship, there is no sex.
There is no sex.
I just see my hand. There is no sex.
Sex is reserved within the confines of marriage. Please. Let's know that. There is no
so take note of the boundaries.
That is going to change that.
Take note of the boundaries. There is no sex in courtship. Now, let's give perspective to knowing yourself deeper. This is when you begin to know
what is this person's genotype.
Is your genotype?
Yes.
What is your blood group?
How
is your finances?
What are your visions?
What is your vision?
What are your
goals?
What
is your goal?
Your assignment? What do you want to achieve in life?
What do you want to achieve in life? Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? These are the kind of things you begin to know. Ladies and guys, especially this thing has to go very seriously to the ladies. You will see a lady, someone has made commitment to the person, then the lady is there. She will now start asking questions like, how many children are we going to have? When you have not spoken about the person's dreams, values, visions,
you have to
an
know
assignment.
If the person actually is going where you want to go. Because for instance, the person is saying, I have a calling, I see myself being a missionary in so and so field, and you're like, no, God has not called me into that. So you have to know. The person is like, God is calling me in the next 2 years, I see myself leaving the shores of this country. And for you want to stay in Nigeria and live your life in Nigeria. You don't see yourself going abroad.
Yes, so these are the things you need to discuss.
You have to talk about
and settle it out.
And settle it really. It's very important. You have to talk about your dreams, your goals, your visions, your
career.
Your career.
Yes.
If you don't talk about these things, you actually will not know how to build each other up and support each other to actually go where God will actually have you guys be.
Exactly.
If I don't know what my husband's dreams are, if I don't know his goals, if I don't know his ambitions, if I don't know his career goals, and all of that, there is no way I would know how to support him and step in.
That is meet for me.
Yeah, that's the reason why you have to know, because if you don't know, there is no way you'll be able to step in to support. So this is not the time where you are spending time and talking about, oh, we're getting married, what shoe am I wearing, what hairstyle am I doing? As important as those things are, these are not the first things that you consider in the stage of courtship.
Let me make it very clear. in this stage of courtship, the last thing
you talk about is wedding preparation.
Is wedding.
Yeah, you actually have to spend more time preparing for your marriage,
for your home,
than you do preparing for the wedding. Just so you know, the wedding is for just one day. My husband and I, we got married, it was just one day, few hours, as a matter of fact. It wasn't even up to 24 hours. I don't know who has strength to be doing all the gyration for 24 hours. Of course, some people have strength to do like maybe 5 events in a day, but you will get tired. It still will not go beyond 24 hours.
It will not go beyond
honestly
that.
Yeah, so wedding is for a day, marriage is for a lifetime.
Yes.
That is why you have to spend more time preparing for marriage than you do preparing for wedding.
Yes.
So this is the time where you talk about visions, goals, assignments. You know, you talk about these things so that you know how to support each other. It's very important.
Let me speak from my own perspective now. As the husband to be, this is the time when you begin to tell your wife, this is the kind of home I would like to have. I would like to have a very peaceful home. I would like to have a home where all my children are subject to the principles of Jesus Christ. I would like to have a home where my children are very obedient. I would like to have a home where we know our goals per year.
You talk about the kind
what
of
we
home
want to
that
do.
you want to have.
I would like to have a home where we imbibe the attitude and the lifestyle of prayer. I would like to have a home where we imbibe the attitude and the lifestyle of forgiveness. I would like to have a home where we imbibe the attitude and the lifestyle of giving. I would like to have a home where we imbibe the lifestyle and the attitude of loving people, reaching out to the less privileged.
You talk about
These
everything.
are things you talk about.
Talk about the kind of home that you want to have, so that you get to know your partner's perspective or perception concerning the kind of home they want to have also. Because seriously, you may be surprised. Some of the things that you would want may not be what the other person wants. So this is the time where you talk about it
and reach a common ground.
Iron out your differences, reach a common ground. Because if you must get married, you must be able to marry your goals, marry your visions, marry your assignments, marry your career, your everything that you actually desire to be in life. The point of courtship is the point where you have to talk about them, so you find a way to marry them together. The Bible said two cannot work together except they agree. Yeah, so for marriage to work, there has to be an agreement, and this agreement has to be in every aspect: agreement of finances, agreement of dreams, agreement of visions, and everything. This is the point where transparency comes in.
Thank you. I'm going to say something very important. Please take note of this. There is a difference between what?
Being transparent
and being honest. Okay? And this is where your relationship has to grow from being honest
to being transparent.
In the first stage, which is friendship, be honest. But in this stage called courtship, you have to be transparent. The difference is that, let's say something happens at work and she comes back and then, how was your day? Fine. How was work? Fine.
What happened today at work?
What happened today at work? Honestly, today at work was, you know how work can be very stressful. Someone was trying to annoy me. Okay, that is being honest. But when you come back and before your husband asks you, before I ask her,
I start telling him,
she start telling me,
this happened.
Hey,
this is
Mr. A and B did this, he did this, he did that, it annoyed me. In fact, this is what I answered him, this is what this and that and that and that. That is being transparent.
So
meaning that
you
don't have to wait to be asked.
Before you talk about it. So in the period, in the stage of courtship, you need to be transparent. While in the stage of friendship, you need to be honest. When you are asked about certain things, you talk about it. You understand. But in the stage of courtship, you are open. You are transparent. You don't have to be asked. Like, I talk about my finances to my husband. Like, he knows how much I am earning. We have spoken about the fact that it has to do with intentionality. There are times that we have to ask each other questions. But then there are times that we actually don't even have to wait until we are being asked before saying it. You understand? That is being transparent. So we have to be both honest and transparent in the stage of courtship. It's very important that we do these things. You know, the things that you actually practice in marriage, there are things that you have actually been doing
started building in your courtship.
If you were not able to access his phone when you were courting, don't expect that anything is going to change. You understand?
It will not happen in marriage.
So he's transparent. It's not even something I need to ask him, oh babe, what's your password?
He's supposed to tell you his password. passwords. He's supposed to tell
It
you.
comes, of course, because he knows that we are on a journey to becoming one.
Yes.
So we have to be transparent. We have to be honestly open to each other. So these things are actually very, very important. We don't keep things away from each other. And that brings us to the next point of talking about your past, talking about your experiences, you know, talking about your past mistakes. These are things that you have to do in the stage of courtship. Please don't mix up these things. You don't meet a person who has not made any commitment to you. You guys are just being friends, babe. And then the next thing you're telling the person, oh, this and this happened in my past life.
Yes.
I had this person.
I had sex with 2 people, or I had sex with 12 people.
Honestly,
no,
sometimes you see the person cannot bear it.
No.
He just moves. Like it's like, I can't deal with this kind of person. That's because the person has not even built friendship to the point that he has gotten to know you for you. He hasn't gotten to know your personality. And then by the time he's able to build friendship with you and he has gotten to know your personality, he now knows that, oh, your past is your past. You are no longer this person. But when the person has not gotten to the point when they have been able to know the true you yet, then you are dishing out all of your past experiences, then you are putting the cart before the horse. It shouldn't be.
Too much.
It is in the stage of courtship that you open up about your past experiences. Please.
Very, very important. You know why my wife was just speaking? I just had the prompting in my heart to just say this. Very, very important. Because we said you need to be transparent doesn't mean you will all of a sudden already in courtship go and give the lady or give the guy all your bank details. You know what we are dealing with is being able to define
there's
the
a
boundaries.
Balance to these things. There's a balance to
Define
these
the
things.
boundaries in each level of relationship. Now, there's a point we grow to in courtship that warrants giving your bank details and passwords to
There are stages. See, these things are built. Every stage is built from one level to the other. Do you know that even the stage of friendship grows? You keep building, like you put building blocks on it, and it keeps growing like a building. The way you build, like you start from the foundation stage, and then you keep building on it, and it grows from one level to another. That's how it is in courtship too. There are levels to it. Do you understand? So you have to keep building on it.
So let me dive deeper into this thing. Now, it is in courtship that you now begin to ask the lady, what is your genotype? What is your blood group? You don't ask this question when you are just friends.
When you are just
guys,
friends, you don't need that.
Guys,
honestly, let me tell you,
just meet a lady,
you start sending the wrong signal.
Start asking her,
what's your genotype?
What is your genotype? What is your
I think that, Beba, that information
what's your
should
business?
Actually be reserved for you. Let me just say this. This information, as a single person, you should know your genotype. It's very important that you know your genotype. Especially as a young lady, you should know your genotype. Even as a guy, know your genotype. This is the reason why you need to know your genotype. So for instance, if you are AS, you know you can't get married to just anybody. You have to get married to somebody that is AA. You understand?
Yes.
But then if you are AA, you know that you can get married to anybody. You understand? So if you are AS, you have to know that you have to be on the lookout. That's the reason why you have to know your genotype. So by the time you get to the point of courtship and then you are asking the question of what's your genotype, and you know that you are AS and the lady is AS too, you know that that's a danger zone.
You know it's a danger zone. Then you begin to know what to do at that time.
You begin to know what to do. That's a topic for another day, really.
Okay, a topic for another day.
Yeah, so
because
it's important.
There are several things that you could do. One of them is there is a supernatural power of God that changes AS to AA, and you can latch into it.
Sometimes, babe.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a balance to these things.
Yes.
Sometimes the Bible says in days of ignorance, God overlooked. In the past, our parents did these things, you know, and they got away with it. You understand? Except if for any special reason God is giving you a go ahead. If you are AS, you know that the person you have to look out for has to be AA. You don't want to deal with the crisis of having a sickle cell child. Honestly, there is God's supernatural power at work that can change genotypes. But we're just saying that on a norms, you understand. If you are AS, you have to be on the lookout for somebody that is AA. That's the reason why you have to know your genotype. Well, there are other factors to it. There is no streamlined way of doing this thing, but we'll leave this topic for another day. Today we're talking about courtship, intentional courtship, and
Yes.
like we're saying, this is the point where you actually have to know what your genotype is. It's very important. You don't start finding out what the other person's genotype is at the stage of friendship. You do this in courtship.
Yes. Now, at this stage, you should begin to have intentional discussions. When we are married, my father and my mother, and your father and your mother, and other relatives, they will become what? Extended family members.
Extended family
How
members.
do we
How
relate
do we
with
relate
them?
with them?
How do we handle them?
It's very important.
When we get married, do we want to have
our relatives stay
one
over?
of our relatives maybe stay over with us? Are they welcome to come and
spend a month,
2
months,
holiday?
1 year? Talk about it.
It
Those depends on what you want. You have to talk about it, because if you don't talk about it, as little as these things are, these things breed disagreements and arguments in marriage if you don't talk about them. But if my husband and I have spoken about them and we have an understanding, we know that, okay, for instance, we can have an agreement that we will not have any relatives staying with us until maybe 2 years or 5 years after our marriage. You understand? So if a relative is coming over, if it's my husband's relative, he knows how to handle them. If it's my relative, I know how to handle them. Why? Because we already have an agreement as regards these things. But if we don't talk about it, then we will not know how to handle it when the time comes. That's why it's important to talk about these things.
So this is also the time when
set boundaries.
You set boundaries.
Very important.
There's this very important side, but I want to really talk about this quickly. This is the time when you begin to have a more precise understanding of your spouse, especially in character. You begin to look at how the person reacts when the person doesn't have money. You begin to look at how the person reacts to gifts, to situations. You know, name them. Every aspect. Begin to look at those areas. Begin to
be deliberate about
carefully
wanting to know.
at begin to carefully look at the kind of friends the person keep. Okay? Begin to look at the kind of people that come around this person. Okay? This is the time for that.
This is the time to do that, babe. I just want to add that the reason why you actually have to do that is that the honest truth is nobody is perfect. This point, you get to see even things that you don't like in your partner. Do you understand? And then you just know that there are things that you can deal with. There are things that you know you can't deal with, and you have to call off the relationship.
And you have to
call off the relationship. So this is the point where you have to look in depthly at these things, so that you know the things that you can live with. You know the things you need to start praying about. You know the things that you are like, even if this person doesn't change, I am willing to do life with this person this way. So it happens both for the guys and ladies. So that's why we have to be intentional about these things.
So a very important part now. Let's delve into that part, okay? Now, this is the time when you put a boundary.
Set boundaries.
Put a boundary. Now, in this stage of relationship which we are dealing with, which is called what? Courtship. There is no sex.
Physical intimacy.
There is no physical intimacy.
There is no physical intimacy.
You must deliberately set boundaries.
Set boundaries.
Okay? For this part of relationship, this stage of relationship. Because the two of you are people that are attracted to each other.
So you don't have to form James Bond. You are flesh and blood. You have emotions running through your body. There is a reason why God has actually put these emotions in you, like we have stated it before. This is so you can learn to love your partner, be expressive, to your partner. But then you have to set boundaries. If not, you are going to do things that you will end up regretting. So set boundaries. Know yourself. Don't form James Bond point where you have to involve physical intimacy. For us, our boundaries was as far as no kissing, because this was our own analogy. I'm like, if I want to go a certain destination, I take the road that leads to that destination. I don't want to arrive at a destination and then I'm taking another road. Do you understand? You
don't want to arrive at a place where you never intended to arrive. So if you don't want that to happen, don't start taking a step towards that destination. Okay? Now this is it. Hugging, let me be very, very clear. Let me be very, very open to you, because we believe we have been anointed by God to bring clarity in a lot of these things. Now, sex is such that when you are attracted to a person and you start by a hug, you would naturally want to progress and move further to touching, to to smooshing,
kissing,
and then graduate to kissing and keep graduating. And then where it ends up is actually sex.
So if you don't want to arrive at the destination of sex, then you shouldn't do the things that will lead you there. You understand? So for my husband and I, we actually set the boundaries. We are like, we are not going to kiss in our relationship.
We said the highest we would ever try is just to hug, and that's all.
And
like, when we think that hug is becoming because there are some hugs that we take you into the next realm.
You can stir up your emotions.
Help yourself.
So help yourself. There are times that I'm like, no, I cannot hug you, babe.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
me.
It is for my own
good.
You understand? So there is no deceit in this whole thing. Different things. That's why we're like, know yourself. If for me, I know that when I hug a guy, it stirs up sexual urges, then please don't hug. As innocent and as, what would I call it now, babe?
Minute as that can be, as little as it can be.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
So set the highest form of boundary. It is for your own good. It is to help to keep your relationship pure. It is to help, because the best place for you to actually enjoy sex and the place where God actually intended sex to be is within the confines of marriage. It helps you build your marriage on the right foundation.
Yes.
We actually cannot overemphasize that. So please set boundaries. Set boundaries.
You must be very intentional, deliberate to make sure you build your marriage on the right foundation. Because doing that would determine how far your marriage will grow.
And also I just want to add the fact that you have to be intentional to the extreme. For instance, there are times that you may notice that in the period of your courtship, sexual emotions, sexual urges are heightened.
Yes.
Like there is a point that you feel like, oh my God, we can't wait no more.
Yes, let's even make this more personal. There was a time when I was courting my wife that my people I was like, Father God, today we're going to touch breasts.
Honestly, at that particular point in time, just avoid seeing each other.
I told myself I'm not going
we're not seeing each other
to see her.
It's to help yourself. Honestly.
You see, somebody does watch now and he was all saying, this one is carnal. Sir,
please,
Mr. Spiritual. Okay.
Honestly,
don't put these boundaries and see what happens.
If you don't set boundaries, you're setting yourself up for failure. Just know that. If you do not set boundaries, you are setting yourself up for failure.
Absolutely.
That's why you have to set boundaries. When you feel like your sexual urges are so heightened and you can't deal with them, please avoid seeing each other. If you must see each other, go to an open place.
In an open place where people are passing.
As possible, where people are passing.
That you will not even mistakenly
that you
do
will
anything.
Not even mistakenly is for your own good, so that your marriage can be built.
I think God is impressing on my heart to say this very, very importantly. Mentorship.
Have people you submit to.
There has to be someone. I had to even tell my wife, and I told her that if there is no one single person in her life that can sit her down when she's angry and tell her, my daughter, sit here. If you stand up, I will knock you. And she can sit there. That person
is not willing to be submissive.
Is not a person that will be submissive in any close time.
There has to be somebody that can call you.
This doesn't go just to the ladies.
Even to the guys.
Sister, look at that brother very well. If he doesn't have a track record of submitting to somebody,
he needs to submit somebody.
You can't see either a pastor or maybe an elder brother or his parents.
Somebody. There has to be somebody that can call him to order. You would need
that will sit the person down and say, my son, you see this thing that you are doing that you think is right is wrong. Sit down here. I will knock you if you move from this place, because you must hear the truth in this your life, and your life must be good and your life must go well. if that person doesn't have that kind of person, be afraid.
So like we have said, it's very important. Please take note of all these things. And lastly, the last thing that you actually talk about in the stage of courtship is wedding. And you know why we're leaving it last? We have told you before, that's because that is just for a day. Wedding is for a day, marriage is for a lifetime. Try and keep it as simple as possible. You don't have to rob the bank. One, you don't have to spend all your financial savings on wedding. Don't spend all your resources on wedding. Keep it as simple as possible. Do what you can afford. Don't go beyond your means. Don't go into debt because of wedding.
Very wrong.
If you have a partner that is putting pressure on excessiveness in wedding, then you have to sit down and talk about it.
Yes, you have to sit down and talk about it. In fact, if you have to involve a mentor,
yes, you have to.
In that
it's
discussion,
very important,
it's important
because you need finances in marriage. You don't have to spend all
you don't
your
have
resources.
to finish your wedding and go back home and you are hungry. There's no food. You are indebted. You don't have the basic needs at home.
You know that, babe, I always say that even when you have the money, you don't have to spend all the money doing wedding. Even when you can afford it.
Yes, even when you can afford it.
There is a whole lot that you can do with money. You don't have
you can buy a land and start building.
You don't have to be extravagant. Even when you have houses, you can build more houses.
Yes.
You can invest more. There is so much more that you can do with money. You don't have to spend all your resources on wedding planning. Just do what you can afford. Do what at the end of the day you know that you were not too excessive, and then you can have your resources together to be able to plan your marriage. And I just also want to add to it that if you're also with a man that you know that he's not financially stable yet, ladies, please support him. Don't put too much pressure on him.
Don't see you must buy my wedding gown, and my wedding gown must be 500,000, 1 million.
Your wedding, no matter how
there's wedding gown for 30,000, 50,000.
Yes, you can rent, and it really will not make any difference.
Yes,
your wedding cannot be the best, no matter how good it was.
There is never a best wedding.
Your wedding can only be the best that you can afford. If you thought your wedding was the best last week, somebody else is going to do another wedding that is going to be better than yours. So it's not a competition. Please do what you can afford. And do what you know that you will not have to be excessive at the end of the day. Moderation is key.
Very important.
Moderation is key.
Yes. So make sure that at the end of the day, your marriage does not suffer at the expense of wedding. That's what we are trying to say.
Because some people finish wedding and then the pressure of the fact that the man has spent all his life savings, all his resources on wedding, he comes into marriage and he's just feeling pressured, and so there's already a lot of tension in the marriage. And it's not because anything is wrong with his wife, it's just because he's feeling so tensed already. He has spent all the resources that he has been working for doing wedding. So it's really not nice. It's not a good place to be. Please, courtship is not an end in itself. It's a means to an end. So you shouldn't just stay there. Some people have become Lord of the Rings. They've been engaged for years. Honestly, you see somebody has been engaged for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and they are still cutting. Like, I don't understand. What exactly are you cutting?
Honestly, I'm saying the truth. I can't do that.
What exactly are you cutting? So we're saying that the essence of courtship is that it's preparation for marriage. We hope you have enjoyed
this session. Make sure that your relationship is leading to marriage.
If your relationship is
not leading to marriage,
then
there's thank you so much.
Bye. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you share. And make sure you drop your comments and your feedback. See you in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.